everyone. Welcome to Appliance Advisers with Yale Appliance. I'm Francesco, joined as always by Dennis. How you doing this week, Dennis?
Doing great, Fran. How about you?
Very good, very good. So we kind of have another special home show edition episode here this week. And, the last couple of weeks, a few weeks back, we kind of did it live from KBIS, and we showed a lot of really cool new appliance innovations and new products and trendy colors. And so a lot of the new trends that are coming for this year. Last week we had Andrew from True on. He talked a lot about trends and colors and new products again. And, we've just gotten so many questions over the last couple of weeks about, when can I see these new products? How do I see these new colors? When do I see them? When do they come out? And we got bombarded with a lot of really good questions. So we thought, heading into this year and really coming into kind of finally new product innovations, new trend in home appliances, and trying to show a little bit about what we do in our stores and what we're up to as far as bringing these new products. And we've been on a hot rush too to try to get some of this new stuff on the floor. So we wanted to kind of show what are some of the things that you should be looking for in your own appliance stores when you're shopping? What should you be looking for? What should you see on the floors? And here we want to show you just how we show customers new trends, not just on appliances, but even new trends just in the kitchen, as far as could be backsplash, countertops, things like that, and how we show customers really what this product will look like in the stores, in their homes.
Yeah, it's a good segue. I think, like you said, a lot of customers are just saying, hey, the stores in my area still have a lot of holes on their floor, and they're telling me they can't see the product and get the product. And some of the new stuff that we just saw from KBIS, we'll show you that we're prepping for those spaces, but you can start to get a look and feel, to your point, some of the designs and things that are coming out of KBIS, just in materials and cabinetry. And then as much, again, just, to show you that, yeah, you really can. And if I think that's the mark of knowing if you're in the right store. If you're in the store that doesn't have any new displays going in, and this isn't self-serving for Yale, certainly, because there's a lot of great stores out there. But if they don't have any new displays going on, or just have holes everywhere, might be a reason to pause. Are you getting the best advice from that person? Because, it's not easy, but you deserve to see the latest and greatest. So really just make sure you find your local dealer, or if you're in our market, certainly come to our stores. I don't think there's anything that really matches them. But as much just for you to know it is out there and it is coming. And we'll give you a look at some of the brands we've been talking about. Some of them are already coming in that fast. I mean, I think right now in our stores, we have 7 new kitchens going in between all 3 stores. So at least 7.
Yeah,
7.
Definitely a lot happening.
7 and then 7 more I just signed off on. So
yeah. In progress, coming. Yeah, it's nonstop in all the locations.
Yeah. So let's get into it. I think we would start with this brand. Let's tee this up. Let's talk about LG Studio for a minute. I talk about this brand a lot. I think it's a great brand as we move forward. I think it's a brand that offers affordable luxury, like really good design. Certainly sits at or below brands like KitchenAid and GE, some of the GE products, some of the mass. It's more in the mass, but really with high-end fit, finish, and feel. So I really, really like it. It displays well. It has really great technology. And so this is an example of some of the ones we've been doing. This one here happens to be our Boston showroom. We just put in this installation. And really, just kind of giving you the flavor of what you do. If you look left to right there, you can see a refrigerator, stove, microwave, and then a dishwasher. And that can be, we kind of do our display so you can envision what 4 pieces might look like in your kitchen. Mm-hmm. But then over to the right, we're showing a single wall oven with an induction cooktop above. That's actually a cutout. That is not the real induction cooktop. It just came in. And then to the right of that is a speed oven combo. So just to give you a look at when we talk about this brand a lot, this is kind of what we like. We like the fact that in this case, it's a flush inset installation. You can install it proud, so it sits on the face of your cabinets, or flush mounted. They just announced yesterday a 60-day, and this is everywhere in the country, not unique to us, but a 60-day, their UMRP, so it's unilateral pricing, so you'd find the same price everywhere, but yesterday they had a reduction for 60 days. kind of to kick off the start of the year. And I think it's really, really great. It's going to come down 15%. I mean, it's already very competitively priced, and we're excited about that. But at this next price, if you're not looking at this brand, you should. It is now a very much, it's a value line. It's not affordable luxury. We're priced at a value line for the next 60 days. So if you're in your market, you may want to consider that. Really, really well priced stuff. But just to show you, this is what your kitchen should look like. When you come into a store, you should see something like this. So you can really put your head, you can't see this backsplash. It's a really great tile, but kind of fully appointed, so you can really have your aha moment. And we think that's what shopping's about. So that's why we do take so much time on our displays, so that people really can say, wow, okay, I could envision this in real cabinetry in our kitchen. So here's one we did in Dorchester. Let's go to the next one. I think we have Hanover slide. This is a Hanover kitchen, just a different look. But even looking at this again, you see that 4-piece suite. Kind of, we try to stick with a lot of the same style so people can shop store to store and get it. But then when you look way over to the right, you'll see a big built-in refrigerator. So when I say this line, it's not a lot of SKUs, but they're well done SKUs, and you can go for value and really dress this up and make it have the look and feel of a pro kitchen, more the likes of a Sub-Zero Wolf or a Thermador or a Miele or any of those brands for a lot less money. Or you can get this great looking 4-piece suite straight ahead with just that refrigerator, stove, microwave, and dish. And there you can be at the prices of a Whirlpool, KitchenAid, any of those types of brands, Maytag, like right in the wheelhouse, but really good fit, feel, finish. Okay.
Yeah. And also, I was just going to say too, just in general, as far as kind of like the design too, and the lighting definitely reflected a little bit in the Dorchester one, but we try to show that too, like how important it is, because you invest so much money in these tile backsplashes, and it's such an important decision when people are finishing their kitchens that you got to make sure you have good lighting, because you want to show that off too. So we always try to show those two and how that looks in your home, and where it's important to have that sort of lighting.
Yeah, and hard to see. We pick out things like all our tile is marked, all our counters are, they tend to be granite or quartz or some solid surface material. We have some new kitchens going in right now with Fisher Paykel. We'll talk about it in a second. Mm-hmm. But they are truly the two hottest, by Decton, the two hottest finishes that are out there, and it's just amazing. And we'll get to that in a second. Let's go right now, though. Let's move over to SKS. So this is the sister line, or the higher end line of LG. So we talk about LG proper. Then we have LG Studio, that line we just talked about, the kind of mass premium but affordable luxury line, kind of sits in that middle, lower to middle and up. And then you have SKS. This is one of the vignettes. We have them in all the stores, but this is one of the vignettes we're doing. In this one here is a play on it. You can see this is out of our Hanover location. Way to the left, you can see, that fridge is paneled. That's a 4-door paneled fridge, brass handles. That green is really popular right now. Mm-hmm. Brushed brass handles and hardware. That's a Yale hood insert in the middle. A microwave draw flush installed to show people. And we show them both ways in the store, because they can either be flush like this, really clean, or you can have them sit proud, depending on the brand. A panel dishwasher is in there. You wouldn't even be able to pick it out if I told you. It's in there. So the point is, again, when we think of some of these brands, a lot of times we're thinking we have to spend Thermador money. We have to spend Bosch Sub-Zero Wolf money. But SKS sits with its packaging and promotion slightly below all of that, but certainly with full fit, finish, and feel. And like a lot of the Asian companies, the technology is just next level technology. So you can see that big LCD screen on the 36-inch Pro range there. So really kind of good looking. We also just tell people, as we know the economy changes and people are looking for value, by paneling something, you can add value. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, panels are more expensive. Not true. Not true. And certainly not in refrigeration. The refrigerators many times cost roughly $1,000 less for any of these built-in style refrigerators when you don't put a panel on them. So what I mean by that is, if you ordered it in stainless, it would cost $1,000 more than the one that you need to order wooden panels for. The cost of wooden panels generally run about $1,000 to do a full fridge. So the point I'm saying is, you can really get a custom look for not any more than the stainless steel look. And really now, what have you done? You've hidden it. And that, compared to some of the other major brands in that category, that might be a $4,000 savings to you. And in the scheme of your budget, these savings, while not giving up quality, are really, really, really important. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next. So here we have Fisher Paykel. We certainly talk a lot about this brand. Now, this kitchen is truly going in. So that refrigerator and that panel, I haven't lost our way here.
No.
Temporary. There is a blue one, and that will ultimately sit flush. And we'll show another picture in a moment. But this is Fisher Paykel just right off the show. This is in a navy cabinet. Blue is certainly really popular. It has a herringbone. Again, the pictures aren't the best, but a herringbone style subway tile behind it with a solid surface Carrera quartz. So really kind of a good looking unit. That'll be paneled. But go to the next photo if you would, Fran. This right here is ongoing. You can see, so this is, folks, this is how fast we move. We come off KBIS and we have 4 new Fisher Paykel kitchens going in 2 weeks. So this display is a little unique. You can kind of see what this is a play on is there's still some panels waiting to come in and so on and so forth. Fisher Paykel offers 2 lines that I really, really like. To the right is you see the center piece. See how it steps up, Fran? See how that right there, right? That's kind of the divider. You can see the 2 backsplashes. So to the left will be a textured backsplash. Where you see all that plywood up top, those are upper cabinets going in tomorrow. So this will be completed by tomorrow, okay? But we are trying to educate people to 2 things going on right here, okay? You see that the counter to the right is obviously much thicker, mitered and built up together. That is a 2-inch countertop, okay? Now, we did that because that's a trend right now, that big, chunky front countertop, and we'll get back to that in a second. To the left, you see a very thin countertop. So you're seeing these 2 trends, and where are you seeing them? That material that you're looking at there is decked in, and that color right there is one of the number 1 colors going. You can't, again, it's a blue. It has blues in it and golds and grays. But the cool part about decked in, if you look to the left, that is the material, that really thin material. To the right is the exact same material, only they've built up the edge to give it the appearance of a thicker counter. So they put a substrate underneath it, they put this little material, this edge on it, and you get this chunkier counter. Why is that important to you? In the city, in Boston, you're seeing this in New York, a lot of people are milling down counters and making them thinner. Now, some people like that for design. Some people like that because of contractors, it saves them money on material, okay? The thing we're trying to let people know is depending on the stove you choose, if you go to a really thin countertop, standard counters are 1.5 inches. Okay, that's what the industry wants them to be. When people make them thinner, what ends up happening many times is your stove sits up much higher than your counter. So we're trying, in this case, the beauty of Fisher Paykel is it has adjustability in it, so that's not the case. But we need to point out to people if they, so we want them to be visual and say, do your counters look like this? Yes, they're doing a thin counter. Okay, let's talk about which range you're picking, because we don't want you to get in and move in and say, wow, this thing sticks way up. Why didn't anyone tell me? So that's one of the ways we tell you. To the right-hand side, we're showing you the opposite. The trend of building up a counter. And when this is all done, these will have 2 hoods over them. And we want to show people, hey, listen, you now have to think about when you make a counter, go from 1.5 inches. This doesn't sound like a lot, but to 2 inches or 2.5 inches thick to get this big chunky appearance. You need to think about the clearances for your hoods, because when you buy a hood, it will tell you the minimum amount of space it needs to be between the counters and your hood surface. Where does this come into play? Comes into play a lot of times on wood hoods when people are covering the hood with a wood facade or a combustible material, because that's obviously wood could catch fire. So at that point there, the manufacturer is going to say, well, you need to be 30 inches off your counter, or a certain amount of clearance between your counter or your cooktop surface and the start of a wooden surface above it, okay? Well, when you build up your cabinets and you have counters and you haven't talked to your contractor and he hangs the hood, not knowing you're doing this new design of an extra thick, countertop, he might have already hung the hood, put all the cabinets around, it's all built in now, and wow, now it's a 1/2 inch or 1 inch too close to the flame. And an inspector could come around, it's happened, And they say, nope, I'm not signing off on this house. You're now, a half inch or an inch too close to the combustible. They go by the letter of the law. So
Yeah, and like you said, we've seen it, and we've seen that happen.
yeah, so we're just kind of, again, trying to show them. Now, again, this is an example where what this kitchen will end up being, and maybe we'll give a post an update next in the next show to show these finished, because they will be. But this is trying to show a customer two styles: a pro range on the left, both 30-inch ranges, and what they call a classic series on the right, so a non-pro style. We're going to panel the dishwasher on the right. We're going to show one in stainless on the left, again, so people can want to not. What would a true pro range look like? Wow, that's beefy. There's a lot to that. Maybe I love that, or maybe I don't. And realize that they have an option to the right. As well, for value, there's a way to still get that kind of really classic look, a really interesting pro piece, and show it. And again, if you look to the right, hard to tell from this photo, that range to the right is totally really flush the body with the counters left and right. Where on the left-hand side, the big pro range definitely sticks out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So this will show these updates, but really, I think, and I know in your area, you must have stores that do this. Part of buying appliances, spending the money to buy appliances is just a matter of budget and you coming up with your money, either more or less. It's budget and it's financially driven. But having aha moments and understanding the reasons why you would or wouldn't do something is an experience that you should have when you're appliance shopping. And that's our only thing. We all sell the same stuff for the most part. It really comes down to everything that happens after the sale and delivery and installation. If you have a good store, we always talk about those two. You want service, someone that services, and you want someone that can install or has the ability to install. But more over here at the first part of really developing your wants and needs for appliances, you should really think about, wow, are they a resource to me, or am I having to do all this work on my own and then just figure it out?
Right.
Because that's when costly mistakes happen for you. But this is
yeah, just so easy. There's so much information online nowadays. Like if customers come in already knowing so much about the products and the features and benefits, and it's almost, you're coming in to definitely kind of confirm some of those things, but you really want to show, like you said, those aha moments and what is it going to look like in a home. And it's not just about the appliance, but how is that appliance going to fit with the cabinets you want, with the countertops, with the tile backsplash, with all those things.
Yes. And good appliance stores, when you're buying appliances, should offer that next step. So It shouldn't just be there once you're in, they take your money and then say, good luck, have your contractor or cabinet person or designer or architect call me if there's any problems.
Yeah.
No, they should already be doing that for you. They should be a resource, reaching out, introducing themselves, hand holding you along the way, giving the specifications to the builder or the architect or designer, and being their resource to answer questions. So now here's a really kind of cool thing I wanted to show you. Okay. So on the left-hand side, again, look, you're seeing that is another Fisher Paykel kitchen just going in. Really kind of cool here. That is a killer backsplash. Yeah. If you could see that up close, you can see that it all kind of rolls into one. All the veining, that's two pieces there. And that's an amazing, that's Divine Stoneworks out of Ashland did this for us. That's a decked-in material again. Owned by the Constantino Group, but that's a really thin material. We just saw it earlier, but beefed up to look and applied as a backsplash as well. Now that has a custom hood going over it, and you can see we're missing a panel down below on the left, but kind of showing you mixed metals of stainless with brass hardware. And then again, there's a lot of nuances in the product there, but really getting to look and see and feel. To the right is a really cool thing we have in our stores. Hard to pick up in a static photo, but this is life size. You can see how tall it is. It's actually 84 inches tall. This is an integrated screen. You can kind of make out what you're seeing on the right is the whole Fisher Paykel catalog is fully integrated into it. So in the case of them, they make it really easy where that unit initially, if you look on the right-hand side, you see a little arrow with a finger or a hand on there, okay? That is a particular 32-inch French door refrigerator. Now, in stores, you can't always possibly have every model. It would be impossible. Mm-hmm. But on this live catalog, in real live form, to height and everything, we can really virtually show you the appliances. So if you were to tap, this is a still frame again, but if you were to tap on that middle icon, to the left is what that thing looks like open. Now we can swipe and we could open the freezer drawer if we were live in front of it. It brings up all the specifications right there. So you really, it's a virtual world for you in real form to be able to see fridges, freezers, cooktops, ranges, open the range, really see what it's like inside. So another really cool thing they're doing, it also allows us to build a catalog for you, email it to you right from that screen. But it's just another cool way that they kind of make their whole brand virtually accessible. Now you can obviously see we show a lot of it anyways, but they are quite a large company and have a lot of particularly in refrigeration, they have a lot of great niche style refrigeration as well as mainline. So kind of a cool tool. But again, stores out there may or may not have this, but I think that again, you want to look. Now if I'm saying this stuff and you're like, oh yeah, well, Yale, I mean, you haven't looked hard enough. Keep looking. Don't go to the typical places. Do research online. Google it. Research. What do the customers say? Are they engaged? If their displays have holes everywhere, if none of this is there, if they look at you sideways when you ask about counters and backsplashes, I don't know. Maybe you go somewhere else. Yeah. I just push yourself. Get good help. Okay. Let's keep moving. What do we have after this, friend?
So this was Fisher Paykel Framingham, kind of last one with them, just to see kind of, again, different backsplash and different tile there that we do. And just to show kind of, here it's a traditional professional stainless steel 18-inch tall hood. So we like to show them in a lot of different ways so people can really, again, get different perspectives on how that's going to look.
Yeah, and the cool part is, Fisher Paykel, a New Zealand-based company owned by the parent Hire Group, but New Zealand really does control its brand still. It's very much still a New Zealand-based focused company. But as much, at least you hear us talking about it a lot, but we wanted to also tell you, Fisher Paykel for a lot of years was really thought of as more of a dishwasher drawer company. And now you can really see, you've seen a lot of different stuff. I mean, we've shown you 5 or 6 kitchens. They're a really robust line. So maybe one in your area if you're not in our own that you consider. All right, let's go to the next one. So we've been talking a lot about Monogram. Monogram stole the show, in my opinion. GE stole the show. Between GE Cafe and GE Monogram, they really have the design. Now, installation is going on. This photo was from today. This kitchen was not here 48 hours ago.
We had a very different picture initially.
This kitchen is is live. Now, this was, I won't lie, it's been in progress. I wish you could see that wallpapered backsplash. It's beautiful. But again, some really cool displays. We had these countertops, again, grainy images. We did it on the fly for you today because this was just live and kind of happening. Go to the next shot for a second, Fred. You can kind of see this is a yin and yang kitchen. If we put this together, this is one big space. But in here, you're really going to see this will end up having a 30-inch tall gold hood in the middle. They make 2 lines. They make this modern line that you're kind of looking at, or transitional, they might call it. There'll be a couple of built-in refrigerators. There'll be, live induction cooktops. So my point is, this is how fast stores should move. If you come back and say, hey, you showing the new Monogram stuff that just came out at KBiz? And they look at you kind of like, what? No, it doesn't exist. Well, 48 hours ago, this didn't exist, and we were just in KBiz not even 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So you should move quick, This is another one Monogram going in. This is literally, again, they're in Boston today. So this, again, next time we show you this within 2 weeks, we'll be able to show these all finished, appointed, lit, staged, everything. But again, this is hard. That goes into where you see Monogram on that back wall, really, really cool. That goes into a room that looks like it's a library, basically. There's a wallpaper that truly are books, if you will. So that's really like a wine grotto kind of feel in there. Again, Fran, if you were the photographer here, you gotta C minus actually.
Yeah, that room should definitely be on there.
Time for a new phone. But again, cool thing in the middle here, pizza oven. We love that thing. If you can highlight on it, you're going to see a lot of things. Again, this is not finished. So panels will be going in, chairs, stools. You can kind of see our easel board that we put in the middle, showing people what it'll finish like. You see big gaps up top. Trust me, that cabinetry is just going in today to be finished. But we'll give some updates. But the point again is, when we say we like something, we invest very, very quickly in making sure we get it out in front of you in a really compelling way. So kind of another cool thing to look at, but this is Monogram. Go next. I think we have another. This is more of a head-on. This is a brand, right? We talked about. Yeah, you can go to the next one, Frank.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
We talked about True. We had True on Appliance Advisors. We had Andrew Sneed from True on the last show.
Yeah.
And really talking about color trend, okay? This is a juniper color with a platinum handle package. That's a 36-inch bottom freezer. You can get glass. We like to show True with a lot of glass fronts, but if you don't like glass, they make a solid door. Hard to pick up in here. Full-size catering trays, Fran. You can kind of see below the strawberries. See the strawberries down there? That's a big, full catering pan fits in there.
Yeah.
Married together 2 units. And then if you were to look on the left and right, we show some stainless steel under-counter beverage units, drawers. Yeah. To the left of that is a paneled version of their beverage center, paneled version of their drawers. And then we continue down with some more colors. That's actually cobalt blue with a brass handle. And then you have a white with a flat black handle. So you're really kind of seeing a lot of color. We'll show a couple others. That this is a Hanover location. Let's go to the next one. This is actually
Hanover.
Hanover as well.
Yeah, no, that was Dorchester.
That's Dorchester. God, yeah. We do play off each other. Yeah. So this is a matte black and brass.
Yeah.
48-inch refrigerator. Again, if you're looking at these saying, I just wouldn't want to see my food, you can get it in a solid door. Mm-hmm. But we're going to showcase kind of the unique of it. But again, kind of mixing things up here. A bear tap in there in your house. Now that tap, really cool, may come to a showroom near you, but we've been talking about it. We just got to figure out how much of this we go through to make sure we keep our customers happy. But you can also hook that up to cold brew. So if you are a big iced tea person, that unit, iced coffee, you could have cold brew in there. There's services out there that'll just come and exchange it. You can do it yourself, but there's canisters that you can buy and do cold brew. So, a lot of people do, like as Andrew was saying last week, a lot of people do these breakfast bars and stations. It doesn't have to be beer and wine or whatever it is. It could actually be other types of beverages you pipe through these units.
Yeah,
so,
pretty cool.
Kind of a cool thing on colors. Yeah. Okay, what's the next one? Again, this is Dorchester showing again a green, not the racing green they just put out. They did just put out a racing green, which really has what I think they call it automotive finish, and it really, you see the mica. It's really shiny and shimmery, just seriously like a very high end car. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, you see the speckles in the paint.
Yeah,
it's really
they make it in 3 or 4 colors. Again, this is just an idea of showing a bunch of different applications. We try to vary our finishes throughout all the stores so that the customers, if they really wanted to see touch feel one, we have display boards for colors in every showroom. But this is again that brand True kind of in a vignette. Let's go to the next thing. Again, seeing this again married again with a wine column and kind of just a different shot of the same vignette. Let's move on because this is really probably the most important part. We talked about experience. So we showed you some displays. We back up the fact that, hey, when we say we like them, we double down, we're behind them. And really stores can see them. It can happen this quickly. So again, you really want to make sure you're in a progressive store. We beat that to a dead horse. Beat that horse to death. Right here, though, this is kind of what we do, and this is education. Again, when you come shopping and you're specifying kitchens, or how often do you do a kitchen? For most of us, you do one once every 20, 25 years if you're lucky. And there's a lot of decisions and vernacular and things that get thrown at you by kitchen designers or contractors. And a lot of times homeowners are just like, where do I even start? What is all that? What do these words they're throwing at me mean? And then as much as anything, our important to us is to make sure that all of us as a collective team, contractor, cabinet person, architect, homeowner, whoever's involved in your project, are all talking the same language. And this is how we get you. We've created these 101 education stations. We call them in all our stores. Now, you see up top, we're showing 25 inches deep. We're showing 27-inch deep. We're showing 28-inch deep. And really, all this was showing you, in this case, 3 different sub-zeros. And if you start to the right, when you do their columns, you need 25 inches of depth to get a flush panel installation. Because a lot of people don't know that. And 25 inches, just so you know, is actually pulling the cabinets out an inch. Standard counter cabinets are 24 inches. So that detail needs to be discussed if you want them to look flush. To the left was their classic. It's in the middle of a change, but still the install will be similar, although tighter. This right here is saying, hey, we have this bottom fridge, and in Sub-Zero today, you need 27 inches of deep. Now, wait a minute, Dennis. You just said my cabinets standardly in counters are 24 inches deep, standard cabinets. So if it's 27, does that mean I need to pull everything out? Yes, you do. And imagine if we didn't talk about this early. If you had 24 inches, you'd get home and you'd see 3 inches of that fridge. It would look awful. You'd see all the unfinished. Saying it to you is one thing. Seeing it side by side so that you can have, again, that appliance magic of an aha moment to say, okay, I got it. I really understand what you're saying and what they're asking me and what that will mean in your design is really, really important. To the far left, hard to see, but that is a 24-inch application. So look there. Same refrigerator, different style, but really the same installation you could have had between that fridge on the left, if that were standard cabinets, and we didn't talk to you about how how you need to pull things out. See how much of that sticks out? Okay. And a lot of people love that. That's a great look. It's been out there forever. But if you said, wow, no, I really want it flush, well, holy smokes, 3 inches of pulling your cabinets out that much further is the difference between how that looks or wouldn't look, depending.
Yeah. Like you said, exact same specs really on these two fridges as far as the depth goes. Certainly different width and style, but yeah, very different installations depending on
Yeah.
how you do it.
So when homeowners, designers, contractors, if that gets lost in translation, that's why your cabinet person, your appliance person really being dovetailed into your project is so important to you, because that's where these mistakes don't happen. Because we should be pointing out to you, just so you know, I talked with Mrs. Jones and or Mr. Jones, she wants a 27-inch. She wants it to be totally flush. So can you pull those cabinets out to 27 inches? Oh, wow. No, we can't. We have a wall in the way or this or that. So there's a lot of things we talk about. So that's kind of that. That's one version. Let's go to the next slide. This is someone just seeing the very difference of a traditional fridge and the difference between full depth and counter depth, where we didn't give you a side. These do sit side by side in our stores. But when you're talking about a traditional fridge, not that really high-end built-in stuff we were talking about, I have one of these traditional refrigerators. The ability to have a counter depth or a full depth, simply, it impacts a lot of things. It impacts the island, the flow in your space. It impacts very much the cabinets. So this would show you what we're showing you in this application. Is these cutouts are 24 inches deep. Remember, you keep hearing the word 24. That's what a standard cabinet depth is, front to back. This is to the right. If we were to have a side profile of this, the body of the fridge, the black sides, if you will, generally, those would be hidden within the cabinetry. And you just see the little bit of the door sticking out, okay? That is more like those big Sub-Zeros we were just looking at for a lot less money. A lot less money. So it's a way to get that clean look without any of the cost. To the left of that, costing really pretty much the same amount of money, is a full depth refrigerator. And if, again, we were to look from the side, this would show you that if you don't pull your cabinets out 4, 5, 6 inches, you are going to see the whole body of this refrigerator sticking out beyond your cabinets. And that's when a customer says, wow, I get it. So if I have standard cabinets and I push this fridge, counter depth fridge in, it's going to look nice, tight, and clean. Okay, I can appreciate that. And if I don't do anything to modify my space, if I put in a standard refrigerator, what we call a full depth refrigerator, holy smokes, all of that's going to stick out. Now today, if you're just replacing what's in your home in an older kitchen, it may or may not be a deciding factor. But if you're designing a new space and you didn't consider these things, many times when we put in a new kitchen and a customer wasn't explained, they would go crazy because they would say, why didn't I never picked that up in my research online. Why didn't anyone tell me this? So that's why we still appreciate, and we put out all this blogging stuff. But at the end of the day, there's nothing like going to a showroom. If you're going to be spending your money, I don't care if you're replacing something, but as much if you're doing a full kitchen as well, to really understand, because I'm going to tell you, when you're doing a kitchen project, it's like Jody Schwartz, who we had on a couple weeks ago. she ended up saying to us, she's a great designer, and she said, invariably with these projects, something's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
So we are trying to minimize that and make all the decisions ones that are well spent. So, all right, let's see what the next one is. Love this one.
Yeah.
This is showing you a bunch of things here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We're showing you everything from pro ranges to range tops. A lot of times people can't understand what that is, and we're showing, hey, it's just the top of a pro range chopped off. That's what you're seeing. It also happens to show you for Wolf here a 30, a 36, and a 48-inch top, if you will.
Yep.
There's 3 sizes there. It's also showing you a cooktop, okay, with a chimney hood, okay? And here is this is all about talking about ventilation. These are the 4 most common types of vents on the right. A chimney hood, so people can appreciate what we mean when we say chimney, meaning there's no cabinets above. It doesn't have a lot of capture space. It's very thin, so most times you're making some, you're giving up some performance because there's not a lot of holding and capture space for your hood, but it's aesthetic. To the right, we're showing you a 9-inch pro hood. To the right of that, we're showing you an 18-inch pro hood, because those are the 2 most common sizes. And to the right of that, we're showing you, well, what if we didn't do a stainless steel hood and we just did a hood insert? And it's hard to a little bit see, but that's a wood hood. And there we're going to talk, if we were in the store, we'd be talking to you about a lot of things if you're doing a wood hood. How deep it should be front to back. Mm-hmm. How you need to pull it out further. You see these beautiful designs where it's this arching, beautiful piece of furniture. And that's fine. But we're going to ask you, do you want it to work? Do you care about smoke? Or is it just all for show? If it's just to impress friends and just to look pretty, well, then that design is amazing and we love it. But don't come back to us and say we didn't tell you so when it doesn't perform well. And that doesn't mean, like, I think there's a happy medium for everybody. Yeah. But until they're educated to understand what to ask and what not to ask, then maybe they make good or bad decisions. To the left, okay, to the far left, Fran, if you can go way over here.
Yeah, right here.
This is a hood where we actually built true studs so you can envision what it would look in your ceiling. This hood is put out there by a lot of brands now. Initially by a brand called Best, but now there's a ton of brands that make them. You see this question a lot. It comes up on Appliance Advisers a lot of times, where if you would envision this is your hood. It truly sits flush. Now, it could sit flush in your ceiling, in your sheetrock ceiling. And it could, but a lot of times people, when they see it in the picture, they go, oh, I want that. I don't want this big chimney hood. Show them the one to the right, Fran. I don't want this thing that kind of gets in my view. I want this really clean thing I saw in a design magazine. Awesome. We love it. But you're doing a renovation and you're putting it up in your ceiling. Well, look at the blower. Look at how much space that has. And just so you know, your studs are generally 16 inch. Every 16 inches, there's generally another joist running down your ceiling, your existing ceiling. And if you don't do a lot of modification, or you're doing new construction and you don't tell the person framing your ceiling that this is what I want it to put in, then holy smokes, you're going to have a big problem when we drop this off and it's hitting wood beams up in the ceiling. So by making it a plexiglass, people again have that aha moment and say, wow, okay, I like this, but this could be a lot of work for me, or not, but I need to plan. And moreover, in this case, we're definitely telling you, hey, listen, smoke wants to go every which way but directly up. And good Lord, it's beautiful. We can appreciate you don't want to see anything. You want to show up the pretty backsplash. But again, we're asking a lot of tough questions, uncomfortable, like, okay, so you're not going to call me when smoke's setting off your fire alarm and this, that, and the other thing. It is better than nothing, but it is not the right choice for somebody that says they're passionate about smoke removal and entertaining without having open windows and all the rest of the normal things that you might think about. So there's that. And if that little Cooking 101 framing hand wasn't in there, you'd also see a downdraft vent. Okay? And what we're showing people is a live downdraft. That's the ones that go right into the counters that come up and down. And that cabinet is also glass below. Yeah. And what that's showing you is that downdraft is pretty from behind. We like that. but we don't actually love them, but we appreciate them.
Mm-hmm.
And we tell you all the reasons why we don't love them. But beyond that, we also want to show you how much room you need to leave under this cabinet now, because that is one big housing and motor. And, again, we're throwing a lot at you, but I hope if nothing else, you start to appreciate this is what appliance shopping should be. It really is. This is kind of, we think we're fortunate to be able to sell the brands we do. Where we think we earn your business is by first educating you, having a good in-store experience that makes a difference in your project, being the liaison between us and your tradespeople to make sure that that goes smooth. And then really the most important is now it's in your home, and we all loved each other. It was a great thing. Everyone, we're having a glass of a wine maybe or whatever, and we're celebrating this kitchen. But a year from now, 2 years from now, the inevitable happens and something goes on the fritz. Can we fix it? Your installer's not comfortable putting the panels on, or it doesn't look quite right, or just wants someone who does this full time to do it. That's where you'd call us, and we could do it. So, or call an appliance store. So you really want all these things. You want education. If someone asks you, if you say, hey, you're going to work with my tradespeople, and that appliance salespeople person looks at you sideways, run, because that's telling you right there. That should just be, of course. They should have already asked you that before you even showed you your first appliance. Yeah. They should explain, this is our process. This is what we do. This is why we do it. And the beauty why you should ask for all this is it doesn't cost you any more money. The internet has taken away the price game. Yeah. The manufacturers have realized that, and that's the beauty. To be honest, for most customers right now, the game has been removed, which is good. It's a level playing field for price. You're not always looking over your shoulder feeling like there was a better deal down the street. There's not. There's not at box stores. It's just not anymore. It's removed. So now it should be about all these other things, and that's what you should be expecting. Because to our point, you can buy this anywhere. The minute we stop doing this, well, then you should just hit click and buy it on an internet site and hope and pray that some guy kicks it off the back of the truck in semi-good condition and it never breaks. That's what we're resorting to when we don't own this end of the bargain, or your appliance store doesn't own this end of your bargain. So I don't know if that helps anyone. Oh well, God, yeah, this too. This is like wall oven.
We had a few more, and here just kind of especially we've talked so many times about how popular speed ovens and steam ovens and drawers and 24-inch ovens are. So we tried to kind of put it in one wall too, so you can truly see some of the differences. And here, with Sub-Zero and Wolf rather, they have so many different styles but similar features. So we try to show all that there too. And it's easy in one spot to say, okay, this is what I'm getting here. This is what I get here. This is what a speed oven looks like. This is what a pro style oven looks like. So just to be able to get some of those differences of styles there. Yeah. And also here, hard again to pick up from the perspective, we're showing these are in many cases, like these first three ovens left to right. These are all four of these are the same brand. We've alternated them, showing you a flush installation and a full installation. Same cabinetry. In fact, these aren't even real true cabinets. Yeah. But just to explain to you, okay, if you're doing this, here's some of the considerations if you want this flush look. Let's get talking to your cabinet person today. Let's make sure that the cabinets are banded on the inside so we just don't cut a hole and it's raw wood. Like there's a lot of things we got to talk about. Not scary, just communication, but we're going to show you all that. Cool. What do we got next? Yeah, we had some more. Last one.
Yeah. So dishwashers. This one we love. And, honestly, we have an amazing team. I've been here a little over 20 years, 21 years. And through, because we don't truly leave the customer at any point, we own our mistakes and we help them with theirs, and we should. Not theirs, just invariable ones that can happen. Even when all the best things are put in place, things go wrong. But these are things that for the longest time when I was selling initially, way back in the day, we didn't have any of these tools. And I started to say, these are the things that I used to as a salesperson. And I know our salespeople are constantly trying to portray to customers. So I said, why don't we just show it and show it all in an education fashion? This right here is just a very simple thing. This is on the left is an American dishwasher. Okay. Fine. We love American dishwasher. To the right's a European dishwasher. Does not have to be 2 drawers. When we think European, again, think about Bosch, Asco, Miele, Beko, Fisher Paykel. There's a lot of brands there. Okay. When we think American, think American. I mean, even the Asian companies, so LG, Samsung, GE, a lot of those brands. The big thing to know is there's some functional differences on how they work, but is the number one reason why people are unhappy is just simply the installation. Again, well, we're going to improve some of these photos. I want to at least put these out there to catalog for you. But on the left, that in a standard 24-inch cabinet, we're going to keep coming back to the standard depth cabinets. An American dishwasher will stick out 2 to 2.5 inches deep, front to back, further than your cabinets. If I ask you that in your kitchen, you might not even know. But I will go back and look at your installation in your kitchen. Is it flush? A lot of times today in an old kitchen, you don't think about it. It's not a big deal. You don't even realize the one you have now may or may not stick out. But if we did a whole new kitchen and we put this in and we didn't talk about it, and you saw all the sides and some of the black and some of the unfinished on the sides, or just the fact that it stepped out deep, huge issue. If you're doing inset cabinets or a really flush European style cabinet, sticking out would be a big issue. Okay, so we're really showing you the American to the left. We'd go way over to the right and show you a European. Granted, these are draws, but how the fact that it's totally flush in the same 24-inch deep thing. So the question here is, do you want an American dishwasher? They're great. They do stick out 2.5 inches. Here, take a look. This is what it looks like. This is what it's going to look like in your cabinets. To the right is a European. And when I say all this, that does not mean you spend any more money. Quite the opposite. Many European brands are much less expensive than American brands today. KitchenAid is way overpriced. Brands like Beko, Bosch, good Lord, some Fisher Paykels, even some entry-level Miele's are less expensive than almost all the KitchenAids. So it doesn't mean you have to spend more money. It just simply means installation. And then in the middle, we're talking that integrated. You hear that word integrated a lot. What does that mean, integrated? Integrated. Well, to some, that just means they might be thinking it's just flush and it's clean. Integrated means paneled, and that's paneled. Now, why that's important is because if you put a panel on an American dishwasher, I already told you what happens. They stick out 2.5, 3 inches from your cabinets. What would that look like if the rest of your cabinets are 3 inches further back, and now you spent all this money to have a custom panel put on, and you put a KitchenAid dishwasher in and thought it would be flush? Because they make a model that can take a panel. I say it's so misleading because it's going to stick out, and you're going to hate it 100% of the time. So in that case, we want to educate you that say you definitely, if you're putting a panel on a European dishwasher, you want to consider Miele, Beko, Bosch, these types of brands, Fisher Paykel, these European brands, because the whole reason why you buy a panel is to make it look like the rest of your cabinets. So let's make sure that it can. So that's kind of our education station area. So this is just why we get asked a lot, and we've already heard it here. We have people popping up, oh man, if you could be in San Francisco or this here and that. Keep pushing. There's got to be somewhere in the area. I mean, we'll tell you. We're humble appliance salespeople. We know we work round the clock at this. We don't think anyone does it like we do. Only because we care about after the fact. We love the educations. Mm-hmm. And here we go. Yeah, please consider an outpost in San Francisco, Bay Area. Listen, I would always say yes. I love San Francisco. Love sea lions. No, I do. We would love to. If we can convince, you know what? We'll bring that up to Stephen, the owner. And, another thing that we wanted to share that we did do this week, just so you know, too, is we did have something just the other day, yesterday, where Stephen, our owner, was on with, we did a luxury summit, if you will. And we had the CEOs and senior people from brands like Fisher Paykel, Miele, who else was on there? Fran
True.
Yeah.
Blue Star.
Yeah. Blue Star. So some of the big CEOs and kind of like key people, and we really asked them some probing questions on things that are new with their brand, how they see the outlook for the year, the industry, what's coming next. So, it's live on a YouTube channel. You can watch it right now. It's called the Luxury Brand Summit. So it's kind of cool to sometimes hear from the people that other than the Yale folks. And that's what we've been trying to bring you sometimes is these folks from outside. But hear it kind of firsthand word of mouth right from the people that are actually, behind their respective brands. So it might be something to tune into.
Yeah, definitely. It was a really good episode and a lot of good information from all the partners and all those brands there. They're really kind of, we put them on the spot on some of these questions, what they see the future for things like gas appliances, the trends of color. So, there was a lot of things that Steve had asked them, and it was some really, really good content there. So definitely check it out. Steve, in addition, also this week, also on our YouTube channel, we have what trends not to buy for 2023. So a little different, and I thought that was really good too, and some good information there. So definitely check those out. And as always, definitely subscribe and like our Instagram channels, our YouTube channels. We always appreciate that, but a lot of really good content that we put out there this week. And like you said, Dennis, like for this week, we've done so much the last few weeks with some of the new stuff. We were excited to kind of show where we were at and being able to put some of this stuff on the floor and show just some of the education things that we do. And, we talk so much about the salespeople and how it's so important for them to get that. And it's also just for customers as they're browsing around. We want customers to think. And maybe, we give them a new idea just by coming into our store and they see the education station or a cool backsplash or the way this vent installs. Make them think about their own project and maybe challenge them a little bit to say, you know what, I kind of like this. I want to do something a little bit different, or I like this color. What a cool way to incorporate some of these focal range colors and things like that into our kitchen. So we were excited to show some of that this week.
Yeah, we have some really great things. We'll be able to show you a new 48-inch French door with 6 panels, 6 custom panels put on, and we'll show it in stainless steel in 2 of the stores, and one of them will get a full wood overlay so we can show how that integrates. We have a whole new Blue Star kitchen that we're just teed up. We have one that's going to be affordable luxury going in the Hanover store in the next week, and then we will have a very live higher end application going out in our Framingham store with all their new styles. Their new dual fuel range is coming into the stores. In both stores, we'll actually be able to test it live for you. You should be able to test the old gas burner versus the new dual fuel and really see the controls and try them and test drive them and those types of things. So kind of really, really cool things coming that we're excited about. Fran, who do we have coming up next show? Do we have Ryan Bloom coming from Urban?
So 2 weeks from today, March 2nd at noon Eastern time, we're going to have Ryan Bloom from Urban Bonfire on, CEO of Urban Bonfire. Some really, we've been selling them now for a couple years, and some really cool outdoor cabinets to go with outdoor kitchens and really any brand grill. So we're really excited to talk to him about what he sees in trends for outdoor kitchens. We talk so much about indoor kitchens, but what are the trends that he's seeing in the outdoor kitchen? Yeah,
and Ryan, certainly he's a serial entrepreneur, but really in the appliance space has done it both. He's been on the actual on the appliance side, on our side, if you will, and then went out to start this whole thing, and really good team that they've put together, and then the really cool part, we talk about that. So it's, if you're thinking about ever doing outdoor space, and it could be small, it could be big. It's left up to you, but this was really a cool thing because he thought about it how we think about it, in the respect that we have so many customers that do masonry islands or wood islands or stone islands, and they're so permanent, and then something dies, something breaks, they're exposed to elements, and then what happens? And Ryan has figured out, he works with so many of the manufacturers to make it so simple. Their design team, it's free, it's fast. Their cabinets are fast to market. They have quick ship cabinets, marine grade, they hold up, fully interchangeable. There's some quick ship packages that actually come with the counters altogether, but well done. And the beauty of that is, as it needs to be changed down the road, it's all made to change. And you don't have to think about cutouts because they do it all for you to your range. In Lightspeed, like, this is all they do. Where a lot of cabinet brands that are out there that have gotten into the outdoor space, well, they're an indoor cabinet company and they launched an outdoor line. Mm-hmm. This is only outdoor cabinets, only made for grills. I shouldn't say that. They do some cocktail stations and other cool things, but really it is around outdoor grilling and outdoor spaces, outdoor kitchens. So really kind of cool. He's been a huge hit. It's coming on fast. So I think it's timely. And then we're going to be following up. We have our own watch. We'll talk to you about After that show, we're going to do a quick launch on outdoor. We have some more guests coming, but we're also going to do a quick launch on what we think for grill season 2023. Some cool brands, some brands we're bringing on, why we're bringing them on, who we think the winners will be throughout the country of grills, everything from the likes of Weber to Kamado Joe to pellet stoves to Kalamazoo to Lynx to Alfresco to, I mean, you name it, DCS. We're going to talk about them all and kind of give you some things that kind of get us excited. Right down to the wireless meat probe, which I think is amazing. It's not a meat probe. Can go anywhere. Turkey, meat, inside your oven, not. 2 brands there. Meater, I love, MEATER. And I personally have one called a Temp Stick. Unbelievable. I could talk for days about them. We well down the road.
Yeah, no question. You got me sold on the wireless temp probe the other day. So I'm definitely liking that one.
Unbelievable.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this week. Thanks, as always. A ton of great information this week. We hope you enjoyed it. We had a lot of fun, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks. Thanks, Dennis.
Thanks, friend.